go, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on the road, hey. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Mask down, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I want to show you guys another hidden TradingView feature. Now, if you guys missed our last video, I'll link it in a card above and in the description down below. In our last video, we went over a hidden TradingView feature that can help you spot trading patterns. And in today's video, I'm going to show you another hidden TradingView feature that won't help you find trading patterns, but it's going to help you find candlestick patterns. But before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and click that notification bell so you don't miss any of these great tutorials or urgent market updates that we upload to the channel. Now, like I said in our previous video, guys, we covered a feature on TradingView that automatically highlights trading patterns so you don't have to spend the time sitting down at the charts and staring at the candles trying to figure out, is this a bear pennant? Is this a bull pennant? Is this an inverse head and shoulders? And then you're kind of looking at the chart and everything just kind of looks like up and down and you kind of go crazy. Before we get into it, guys, I do want to point out that you should not be trading just based off of these candlestick patterns. A lot of these patterns indicate a potential trend reversal, if that, but you can use these as amazing confirmations along with other indicators and other forms of TA to add a lot of confidence when entering and exiting your trades. Now, in today's video, we're going to be covering a few different candlestick patterns. Obviously, TradingView does offer an absolute plethora of different candlestick patterns, but today we're going to be focusing on tweezer tops, tweezer bottoms, bull hammers, and shooting stars. Now, if you guys want to learn more about these candlestick patterns and how to trade with them, you can check out my candlestick pattern video that I will link in the description down below, where I talk more in depth about different types of candlestick patterns, how to spot them by eye, and how to use them in your trading strategies. But today, I'm just going to show you the TradingView feature, and I'm just going to lightly touch on these candlestick patterns. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the charts, guys. I'm going to show you how to get this feature added onto your charts, and I'm going to show you guys how well it works. Obviously, it's not 100% of the time, but we're going to go back and we're going to kind of look at it and take a look at these candlestick patterns and what happens after they form. And I'm going to show you guys how you can use this feature along with your other TA to add confirmation when entering and exiting your trades. Let's get into it. So guys, here we are on the Bitcoin chart. Now, to access this feature, you're going to want to come up to your indicators tab right here. Go ahead and click that. Typically, you will start off on your favorites, but you're going to want to come down to technicals, click on this tab, and you're going to want to move all the way over here to candlestick patterns. And as you can see, once you click here, you can see all the different candlestick patterns that you can select that TradingView will actually highlight for you and label when it's identified on the chart. Now, you can also click this all candlestick patterns button, but if you wanted to isolate them, you can see here you have doji candles, doji star bearish, doji star bullish, engulfing bearish, engulfing bullish, and then you got some popular ones here. You have bullish hammers, bearish hanging mans. You also, if you scroll all the way down, have shooting stars. You have tweezer tops, tweezer bottoms, and a plethora of other candlestick patterns. But like I said, we're going to only be focusing on a few today. But if you wanted to go ahead and add these to your chart, you can either click on the actual name or you can go ahead and click this star button to add them to your favorites tab. But I already have them added onto my chart. So let's go ahead and take a look at this feature. So I want to come over to the 45-minute chart because I actually saw a couple of tweezer tops that are forming right now on the current price. So what I'm going to do, I've added a few of these candlestick patterns to my chart. I've added the bullish hammer, the shooting star, the tweezer top, and the tweezer bottom, and we're going to go through each of these, and I'm going to show you guys some good examples. First off, I'm just going to go ahead and turn on tweezer tops so you guys can kind of see how this feature works. Now, obviously, you see it is labeled by TT, and it's also colored red, indicating that this is a bearish pattern, right? And you can see you also get this nice little shadow, so if you're zoomed out, it's kind of easier to see where these tweezer tops are if you wanted to go back and look. It just makes it easier to see. Again, this is not necessarily a candlestick pattern video, but I'll just break this down a little bit for you guys. Now, a tweezer top candlestick pattern is a bearish reversal pattern, so a lot of times this will pop up before reversing to the downside. Now, for tweezer tops, you typically have a big green candle and then it will be immediately followed by a red candle. But the thing that makes this a tweezer top is that you have equal highs, right? So the body of this red candle is almost exactly at the level of this green candle's wick, and this is what makes the tweezer top. The main thing you're looking for is the high of the green candle to match the open of your red candle, and that's what gives you that tweezer top. But if you're using this indicator, you don't even really need to know that because it's highlighted for you. Again, if you guys want to learn more about how to actually spot these candlestick patterns and the intricacies of what makes a good candlestick pattern or one that might not be so strong, definitely check the video links in the description down below. I cover them in depth, but to highlight this feature on TradingView, you can see it obviously highlights it very nicely, very easy to see here. So you can see, right, okay, this looks obviously like a tweezer top. It's labeled. Probably going to be, somewhat likely that we're about to get a trend reversal. Now, again, you don't want to trade just based off of these. If you go ahead and backtest this, you'll see that they don't play out 100% of the time like anything else. But again, I'm going to show you at the end of the video how you can use these in your trading strategy to add confirmation to your trades. And I'm actually going to show you a pretty good example right now. So, in short, there you go. Tweezer top, boom, you see we get a reversal. Tweezer top here, boom, we get a reversal, right? So this is typically how these will play out. So let's go ahead and turn our TA on and see kind of how you can use these in actual practice. And let's go ahead and turn it on here. As you can see, I'll just clean this up a little bit. You can see here, we have a nice range that we've kind of been trading on and respecting. This is a volume profile, not a volume profile video, but essentially this is your range here. Now, typically when you get to your value area high of a range, it is likely to get a reversal back in below this purple line right here, and it is likely that you come back and revisit this green line. If you want to learn about volume profiles, I'll also link those videos in the description. But that's basically how a volume profile works. You come up to the purple line, which is the value area high, and then you likely will come down and revisit the green line when trading these specific types of volume profiles. Now, if you're looking at this, you can see we do have a tweezer top, but not only do we have the tweezer top, we have key resistance right here being broken, which is your value area high. And a lot of times with these volume profiles, you will peak out of the value area before reversing and coming back down. So we're coming up to that key level of resistance. You have the tweezer top right here showing face as it's labeled. You're not bringing any new volume in on your volume profile, indicating it would be likely to break back in between this purple and green line. And you can see that your VWAP on Market Cipher B was coming to the downside, which was indicating that we were about to print a red dot, which would also give you some confidence that the market was about to turn around. You know, I'm not saying this is the absolute best trade, but I just wanted to show you how you can use this alongside your other strategies and other TA and other indicators to kind of add some confluence, because you don't just want to short every single tweezer top you see, because you can see here we kind of have somewhat of a tweezer top right here, but you didn't really come down much. Granted, this was not labeled. The basic point here is that you don't want to trade these alone. So we came up to resistance, we were out of the value area, we were about to print a red dot on Market Cipher B, and you had the tweezer top. So you had a little bit of confluence there, and we came right down to the value area low. Now, if we come over to our second tweezer top here, we kind of had a very, very similar thing happen where we came up and tested that value area high once again, pulling a beautiful tweezer top, again labeled. We knew that we were likely to come back into this trading range, and by trading range, I do mean between this purple and green line, which is our value area. We already know once you come out of this level, it is likely you come back into this blue box based off of how volume profiles work. But you get that tweezer top confirmation, and again, you also had your VWAP coming down again. We knew that it was going to be likely that we print a red dot soon, and for what it's worth, we were actually a little bit overbought on the 45-minute as well, so you'd be expecting to at least cool off just a little bit, and you could have gotten into this trade, and you would have targeted your point of control as your first profit target, so you could have got in, somewhere up here, set your stop loss, based off of one of the many strategies you can use, and your first target could go ahead and be that point of control, and you would have got a nice 1.46% move, and with a little bit of leverage, that could make for a nice little scalp trade. So just a little bit of an example of how you can use this alongside other TA to just add it as confirmation. And I wanted to cover that early in the video because I don't want you guys going out there and just trying to short every single tweezer top you see, because you'll learn very quickly that that won't work. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and move on to our next candlestick pattern, which is going to be the shooting star. So here we are on the polka dot chart. Now, the reason I picked polka dot was just because this is an extreme example of a shooting star, so it'll be very clear to recognize. And you do have a little bit of confluence here, which I'm going to touch on one more time. But you can see, obviously, this is labeled again in red because it is a bearish pattern. You get the SS for shooting star, and it is really nice. I forgot to mention this. If you go ahead and hover your mouse over, you can see it says this single day pattern can appear during an uptrend and opens high while it closes near its open. It trades much higher as well. It is bearish in nature, but looks like an inverted hammer. And that is your shooting star. So it is nice that you get a nice little explanation. So you could kind of just learn about this stuff as you go, and you put no work in to find them. But you get that label, red line, shooting star, and as you guys can see, this is a shooting star candle showing that the bulls tried to push the price all the way up before the bears came in and slammed the price back down, giving it that shooting star name, and this is a bearish reversal pattern. And what do you know? After this bearish reversal candle, we did get a decent move to the downside. Again, you don't just want to short every single shooting star candle that you see, and I could even already see we do have somewhat of a shooting star candle here before this reversal. So you'll see these pop up, and the more you look at them, they'll kind of pop out in your head. But if you go ahead and look at your market cipher B, not only do we have the shooting star pattern indicating a potential trend reversal or a potential move to the downside, but if you look at market cipher B, you also have your money flow on the daily pretty clearly coming to the downside, as well as a bearish divergence. Technically, this would be you have your price making higher highs with that long wick. Typically, I'd like my divergences to be drawn body to body. However, that shooting star wick did give you that higher high as you were pulling some lower highs on your momentum waves, giving you that open alligator mouth, which we know is a bearish divergence, and we know that typically price moves down from there. And that shooting star candle gives you a little bit of confluence. You know, hey, money flow's coming out on market cipher B. We have a bearish divergence, and we have a shooting star candle. There's 3 confirmations that you're going to get a move to the downside. And if you got into a position anywhere in this wick, it would have been a pretty decent trade. You know, if you wrote it all the way down to the bottom, would have been a nice almost 40% move, which is not too bad, guys. You don't even need leverage to make a good gain with that. Now, the next candlestick pattern we're going to be taking a look at is going to be the tweezer bottom, and this is obviously the opposite of a tweezer top, so you're looking for the same thing, but again, we're not looking for it. We're just having it pointed out, and you can see this is actually a bullish candle pattern, and it's labeled in blue rather than red, just making it really easy to identify. And then you get the TB, obviously, for tweezer bottom. And you can see your 2 candles here making those equal lows right here, telling you that it is a tweezer bottom. And again, it's just labeled super easy for you. And what happens after that tweezer bottom? Obviously, you do get a nice move to the upside. But again, you don't want to trade this alone. You want to trade this alongside other TA. And not only can you see your money flow starting to come up here on market cipher B pretty clearly, you can also see that you were putting in bullish divergences as you're making lower lows here with your higher lows on your momentum waves. Now, obviously, this is not forming right on this candlestick pattern, but having that bullish divergence on the daily would be a strong indication that you're going to get some form of a move to the upside, even if it doesn't happen right away. So you get the bull div, you get a little pop up, and then you cool off a little bit, but then you get the tweezer bottoms. But because your money flow is coming up and that bull div is still in play on the daily, and you're also making a higher low on your momentum wave down here, this would indicate that momentum is just generally coming to the upside, which would be a good way to add a little bit of confirmation, and you get the tweezer bottoms, so you could go ahead and give that trade a shot. Now, this isn't a strategy, and I don't want to spend too much time in this video, you know, trying to find the actual key levels. But, you know, if you had a key level of support down here, you know, that would be a strong indication that you're at least going to come up, you know, a little bit, because you're getting that bull div into your key support, and then you come up, you cool off, and you get the tweezer bottom, which would indicate that you're coming up. And if you were to take that trade, you say you got in somewhere there, you put your stop loss below the last swing low, and you wanted to target these highs as a profit target, you could have made a nice 28%. And just to point this out, guys, just to add a little more confluence, obviously you get the bull div into your support level, you get a move up, you cool down right to your local golden pocket, which we know is very, very common, and then you get the tweezer bottom. There's plenty of ways to add these candlestick labelings into your trading strategy to add confirmation, right? Because you might see the retest of the golden pocket, and then, you might be a little iffy here. Oh, God, is it going to break? Is it going to break? You pop up, pull a tweezer bottom. That gives you the confidence, and you ride it up for some gains. Now, for our last pattern that we're going to go over, guys, we're going to be taking a look at the bullish hammer candle. Now, with the bullish hammer candles, obviously this is in blue, so it means it is a bullish candle pattern, and it's also in the name bullish hammer. But typically what a bullish hammer candle is, without getting too deep into it, we have videos for that. With a bullish hammer, you typically have a long wick to the downside, showing that the bears tried to push the price down, but the bulls just came right in and ate the price back up, creating that long wick on the bottom. And here's a quick tip for anybody who's new to trading. Typically, when you see a long wick to the downside, that is normally a pretty bullish sign, showing that the bears tried to push the price down, but the bulls wouldn't let it happen, and they ate the price right back up. And in the opposite way, similar to the shooting star, when you have a long wick on the top, that is typically a very bearish sign, showing the bulls tried to push the price up, but they couldn't keep it up there. The bears came and pushed the price back down, again, indicating a trend reversal. So with the bullish hammer, you can see here you have the long wick to the downside with the small body here. Looks kind of like a hammer. And if the wick's on the bottom, it's a bull hammer. If the wick's on the top, it's a bear hammer. But you can see here, obviously, you get that bull hammer. And we did actually get a slight move to the upside. Nothing too dramatic here. Came up for about 3.6%. We're now on the 2-hour, so the percentages are going to be a little lower than they are on the daily. You get a nice little label here saying, hey, this might be ready to take a little bit of a move to the upside because you get that bullish hammer candle. Now, not only did you have the bullish hammer candle, but when you confirmed this candlestick pattern, you also got a green dot on your 2-hour with your money flow coming up into the green as well. Now, granted, that did just roll back over to the downside, but if you were trading the actual market, you wouldn't even know that. So you would just see your money flow coming into the green with the green dot here. Now, if you go ahead and put a vertical line on this candle and we go down to the lower time frames, I can almost guarantee you that we could find some other confirmations, so we're not just trading based off of this candlestick pattern. Now, I'm going to put a general line of support here just by eye. I could see we held support here, held support here, held it here, held it here, held it here, and I'm marking this area with a vertical line, and I'm going to come down to the lower time frames to see basically if I could find any bullish divergences or anything that could indicate a good entry. And if you come down one time frame to the 1-hour, you can see, let me actually just hide these labels real quick. You can see we did put a bullish divergence here on the 1-hour into this area of support, which we know has been holding strong. We put that bullish divergence, indicating we could get that move up, especially because it's happening at support. So I'm going to pull up that bullish hammer. You can see you actually got it on the 1-hour as well. So you come down to support, you get the bullish divergence, and then you come up, and then you print that bullish hammer, indicating that move to the upside. And again, if you went ahead and put a position in here, depending on where you wanted to target, this one wound up coming up for about 3.35%. So not too bad, especially if you're using leverage. And it's just nice to have these on the chart to kind of give you a little bit of extra confidence, right? I'm already looking for a long here because we have this bullish divergence as well as money flow crossing over into the green on the 1-hour. And then, maybe we find some other things as well. You get that bullish hammer signal, and it gives you a good idea that you're going to get a move to the upside, and it clearly works. Now, before I let you guys go, I do want to point out, obviously, this is not going to work 100% of the time. These are light nudges that a trend reversal may happen. So again, this is why I'm talking so much about confluence in this video, is because you never want to trade just based off of these candlestick patterns. And here's a really good example right here. We were coming down here, and we were coming down to our area of support that we know is very strong, and we put in this nice bullish hammer, and I have to say, this is like a textbook bullish hammer, but if you were just blindly longing this, you would have probably gotten wrecked. As you can see, we got to move to the downside. But if you come down to market cipher B, we had just gotten a money flow crossover into the red, which is a much more bearish sign. So this is kind of one of the, just looking at that, I probably would have sat this long out, and you can see it would have been a good thing because you would have gotten wrecked to the downside. So I just wanted to give you guys an example of when these candlestick patterns, don't play out, because it definitely is not 100% of the time, and I wouldn't even put that much weight on them. I would just use them as confirmations. So guys, I think that's all the time I have for today's video. I hope I showed you something in TradingView that you didn't know existed. So go hit the charts, pull up these candlestick patterns, click them, try to see which ones you like, or if you have a favorite, turn that on, go ahead and back test it, and go ahead and add this tool into your trading tool belt to add a little bit of extra confidence when you're looking to get into that next saucy trade. With all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Frankie Candles out.